Hi, I'm Pawel, I make games, and I'm gonna show you how to use this sprite animator we've created in this tutorial to not only change sprites of our game objects, but also trigger sound effects. Alright, so we have this scriptable object we have created some time ago, link in the description, and what it does nothing because it's a scriptable object, but it is used in a script that changes the sprite of an object to something from this array. There is a gap between changes and we set it also in this scriptable object. Now what we want to do is to play sounds using the same logic. For example, in this scriptable object we want to play sounds in the 4th and the 6th frame. Alright, now we know what we want to do, so we can start working on it. First we need to open up this scriptable object and add there a new array of sounds names, which is inside the game manager. Now in the Sprite Animator, which uses the scriptable object we've just edited, we need to grab game manager. You may think that simply finding an object of type GameManager in the start function is enough, but in some cases it will cause an error. If in the same frame we want to set an object active for the first time and play its animation, we will get an error that Unity doesn't know what the GameManager is. We may try using this line above the play animation, so we know what the game manager is before we start animating, but to be super sure about that, we may use it in a awake function. The main difference between those functions is that awake is executed before start function. It seems like the start function should be first, but it's not true in that case. If you open up Unity's documentation about this topic, for example from the link in the description, you can see how all of that works. Now in this play animation coroutine, in its while loop, we want to add GameManager.playSound. We will feed this bad boy with some data from our scriptable object, so we will access data.sounds there. And we will grab what is under the index I, which is the number of our frame. Okay, so that's the play sound line, and below that we change the sprite, and in addition we increase I variable there. Because of that I++, it's very important to use those lines in this order. Now we want to make sure that this new line won't cause any errors. For example, if this data.sounds array is smaller than data.sprites array, but we still want to access its out of the range index. We have to protect the script from such a silly action. To make that work, we'll need an if statement and calculate sounds amount. This is just data.sounds.length. Now we need to check if I is less than sounds amount. Okay, and with that done, we can start adding some sounds to our scriptable objects. We set the size of this array and add plant grow, for example, for the big plant scriptable object. The next one is big man kick. The first sound we're gonna use there is under index 3, which is the time when this big guy kicks the plant. The next sound we need will be played while the element 5 frame, which is the 6th frame, will be visible. There is a vanishing sprite, and it would be cool if we hear an explosion or something while this big guy vanishes. To add sounds, we're gonna open this sounds array and set the size to the same value as sprites array. Now we need to find element 3 and use crunch there. And for the element 5 we need an explosion. We don't need to play the last sound because it's none, so we may freely decrease the size of this array. Okay, I believe that you know what's going on there, so I may go a little bit faster. The next animation which needs sounds is player walk. There's a sprite 7 when she takes a step, and she takes a step 2 in this sprite number 11, which is number 6 in this array. We need to set the size of the sounds and use sound step over there and also there. The next one is send appear, and here we need to find send appear sound and use it as the first element. As it comes to the send a bag, we need to find out when it starts moving and use player in a bag sound there. Now let's test it out during the gameplay. Beautiful. Okay, but if you don't want to hear steps in the intro, you need to duplicate this scriptable object, rename it to something like player walk silent, and just set the sounds array size to 0. Now we need to go to a game manager and put this new animation to this a little bit messy array. Alright, as we got it, we may go to the game manager's start game coroutine and change the number of an animation to 3. That's the index of the new one. Alright, the game is basically done, so in the next video we are going to improve the visual quality of this game. I mean, we'll be able to add shadows to those 2D graphics without touching the sprite sheet image. I hope you are as excited about that as me, but, well, if you don't want to do this, you may skip the next video. Have a good day and see you soon!